So I've seen a couple of yours, and I make me smarter about this. At what point will they be able to hear me?
Right now.
Yes!
What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. We are live with our boy Noah. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm excited to be here.
Love it, love it. I first met Noah at one of his actual in-person events. It was shooting the shit at Brighton SEO, right? It was Brighton SEO.
Yeah, the Boardwalk Bash.
Yeah, the Boardwalk Bash. There you go. Great event. Are you doing another one this year?
Yeah, it's gonna kill.
Oh, nice. Love that, guys. So if you definitely want to go to one of Noah's events, check out the one in San Diego. Brighton. Is it gonna be a pre-party, after-party, in-between party?
It's gonna be Monday night, and it's gonna be, I think, 7 to 10, 6 to 9, or 7 to 10. We'll have up to 300 people there, I think.
Nice. I mean, how many people did you have in the last one? It was pretty big.
It was 2, we're not sure, because we stopped counting at one point, and I think we got to 210-ish, and we stopped counting, and I don't know. We stopped counting for 45 minutes, so it was pretty big.
Nice. Stefan, my man. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Yeah, we got people just coming in right now.
I love how organized you are in your show prep. I got to give you huge kudos to that.
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah, I want to make sure, I mean, it's been something at first. We'll see. If Kenneth says, "What's up, Noah? What's up, Kenneth?"
Yo.
No, but yeah. So I mean, it's something to make things run smoothly. I mean, before I used to do, for me to do the prep work, I would have to watch so many of the guest videos and stuff like that. But now I can pick the transcripts of all the videos and help me come up with questions with using AI. And so I was like, okay, and I can help cater it to the theme of what we're going to be talking about.
That's rad.
Yeah. Before AI, I would literally watch everyone's videos. All your videos on there, I would watch them at 2x speed, just trying to catch some notes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was like a back.
That's wild. So I've done stuff with YouTube's API to pull stuff in and pull transcripts out, but I haven't done it recently.
Yeah, it's a huge time saver. I mean, now I haven't actually had time to actually do my clips. I usually do these 1-minute clips in the very beginning, some reaction videos, but just the past month or so, I've just been really, really busy. But even for those, now I can really scan easily by just look at the transcripts. Hey, and pull me some nuggets out, and then I'll go to the video and find it. And it's oh, this is a great nugget to share. There we go. Let's see here. Who else is it? Don't be shy, guys. Let's see a bunch of you out there. Say hi in the live chat and let me know where you're watching from. Today, if you're just tuning in, we have Noah Lerner, getting the most out of your SEO career. Great topic today. We'll talk about community building as well. You know, he has his own community, the SEO community. How many members are on that now?
4,100 and something. I don't know. 4180 something. A bunch.
Man. How do you get accepted to it? I think I applied. I didn't get accepted yet.
Oh, you kidding me? When did you apply?
A few days ago. I didn't realize. I was like, what? I was like, why am I not applying this? It just clicked. Everything clicked. I'm like, wait a minute. This is the whole party.
I'll fix that today. So we have this amazing guy who's helped us manage all of our applications, and he's sick this week. So I apologize about that.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
That's on me.
Ernesto, yo, what's up, Ernesto? Yeah, I didn't expect to have both you and Joy on the same week. Joy was on
I watched that.
Yeah, Joy was my other show.
That was hilarious.
She was on my local SEO show on Wednesdays, and I was like, it just so happened that because we scheduled our event months ago, and then for hers she had to move things around. We actually kind of did it a few times, and it just ended up being on the same week. I was like, oh, it's Sterling Sky week.
That's hysterical. I am so lucky. I got to be honest. I'm really, really lucky to be part of the team.
Nice. I mean, because you said there's you actually went to the Google I/O too, right? For
I did.
actually
Yep.
for the company, and like I saw that you had your recap going. I still have to watch that, but I want to love to like see if you have some time, maybe drop some nuggets that you were able to kind of share
Sure.
over there.
Yep, for sure.
Fletcher says, "Great topic for today." We might have meant great topic.
Greatest topic ever.
Great topic for today. What's up, Fletcher? Happy Friday. The party every Friday here, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today we have Noah Lerner, and we'll be talking about getting the most out of your SEO career. Talk about like networking, community building, and skill setting. Skill building.
Dude, you got me shaking my hips over here.
Oh yeah. I had these. I had a bunch of beats made like 5 years ago just for the show because I was using like these. Even though I was using these royalty-free beats, Google kept on trying to copyright me. I was like, oh god.
That is wild. Yeah, and their YouTube library has a whole bunch of audio for free too, which is wild.
Yep. You hear it. But you know, there's some like scammers out there that will try to claim it when you use these royalty-free ones. They'll just try to like claim it, saying like, "Oh, that's Mars." I'm like, "Wait a minute, you are not the owner of this. I know for sure." And then I just submit my license, and then it gets released. Will you be speaking at Brighton SEO or anything?
I don't think so, but I spoke last year as a backup. And I told Kelvin that I'd do the same this year if they need somebody. We'll see.
Yeah, that's so you could just go up there on the fly, just put something as a backup. Was it like last minute, like the day before?
Well, I got to speak. I mean, I'd done the deck a couple of times before. It was I call it the Down the Mountain deck.
Okay.
And it's about getting the most out of your career. So it's my favorite deck to present.
Nice. Oh, yeah. We got about 2 more minutes to go. We have Noah Lerner on, getting the most out of your SEO career. And we have Marcus that just popped in and says, hello from Austin, Texas. Hello, Marcus. Yeah, I definitely want to... I definitely
Can
am
I
going to...
see questions? Can I see the chats and stuff? How do I do that?
You should see. I mean, it should be on the screen. It should be. Do you see on the screen? It comes on the screen. Like I'll throw it on. Do you see it on the bottom? Do you see it on the bottom of your screen?
I see Marcus.
Yeah.
I see Marcus.
Yeah. So when people ask questions, they will be asked through that. You'll see it. They'll come up in the bottom.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. So like when at the minute mark, I'm gonna go ahead and put you on mute so I can just get everything ready here, and then I usually I'm gonna skip through the reaction videos. I'm gonna go straight into the interview. So I'm just gonna do a few messages and then I will get right to you. All right. So I'm gonna put you on mute right now.
Perfect.
I'll see you in about a couple minutes. Oh yeah, we got less than about a minute more to go with Noah Lerner. We'll be talking about how to get the most out of your SEO career. A lot of great things to talk about today. We'll be using how to use your network to find jobs and building a real SEO community, building your own community, what it takes. I know building a community is pretty hard. I'm trying to build my own tech community. As you guys know, if you go to weare.online, I mean, I've been at it for about 5 months now, and I only have like a couple hundred people on there. So let's see if I get some tips from Noah here. Hey, y'all, the SEO community.
time to get it started, no delay, let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre de Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO Video Show, where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre de Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released in the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest. And today's guest is the Director of Innovation at Sterling Sky, Noah Lerner. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see JP, the SEO community, Marcus, Fletcher, Ernesto, Kenneth, Stefan. Welcome, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey, Dre, why do SEOs love the farmer's market? Lots of organic content.
Oh yeah. Again, I did not have any time to do any reaction videos for today and find some great clips today. So I'm going to go straight to the interview. But before we do that, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Did you know a press release alone isn't enough? Visibility is key. You need a multi-platform strategy to share your story across news, audio, video, and social media. Welcome to Magic PR, where your press release transforms into a powerful media experience, maximizing exposure and engagement. We distribute your release to top outlets like Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Business Insider, and more. Plus, your release is SEO optimized, ensuring better search rankings. But we don't stop there. We turn your press release into a podcast, distributing it across 25 platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Then, we create a social media content for Facebook, X, and Instagram, and even transform your story into a video press release for YouTube and top media sites. Video drives over 80% of higher engagement, and short-form content is king. We make viral videos for your YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and more. At Magic PR, we don't just publish, we amplify. Get your press release seen, heard, and shared everywhere. Visit magicpr.com today and take your brand to the next level. Now let's introduce our guest.
Noah is the Director of Innovation at Sterling Sky. He's a master of marketing automation. He builds tools to cut time reporting in half, streamline SEO workflows, and drive real-time results. He utilizes APIs such as Google Search Console, Google Ads, and OpenAI. He is a conference speaker, podcast guest, and the founder of the SEO community. Please welcome Noah Lerner.
Noah, my man, welcome to the show.
Wow, that's amazing.
Everyone, let's give a round of applause. All right, no. This is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here in 1 minute or less. How does Noah get ranking on page 1 of Google?
I think the playbook really depends on the type of website we're talking about. If we're talking about like local businesses, for example, it's like first things first, get a great Google business profile set up so that you can win for the product or service in your local market, and understand that that's really where you're going to play to win. And after you build out your GBP, then you're doing things like trying to get links from local businesses that are related to yours, building out really good local landing pages that GBP is pointing to, that have things like maps, hours, if it's a physical location, or if it's a service area business, having hours of operation that they can reach you at, having tons of reviews. There's just a lot. It's not like a 1 minute or less kind of thing anymore. It's like there's just so much to it. Like with the SEO community, what was interesting was that playbook was different. Our search universe was tiny, and the head term for it is SEO community, right? SEO groups, SEO Slack groups, whatever. And we were just asked the question like, hey, if I wanted to find a community, what would I actually be looking for in that type of resource? What would I expect to find for a community type of website? And then we built out those types of functionality. And the more and more content that we built that established it like topical authority around it, we started to see our rankings go from invisible to number 1.
Love it. Okay, take us way. All right, I was rewinding this real quick. I had to rewind that real quick. So take us way back. When did you first get into SEO?
I would say that I first got into it probably 2005.
Oh, okay, okay.
I started building websites in 2001, and when I started building local business websites, I was in a small market where there were like three web designers, and the other two didn't care at all about being found. They only cared
Mhm,
about making things pretty.
mhm,
And I think it was this SEO notebook website that I learned from originally.
mhm.
And I just started with like simple things, whether it's page title, meta description tags, alt text, headings, like super simple stuff, and moving from table-based websites over to standards compliant websites back in the day.
Love that. Yeah, I remember making all my websites in Dreamweaver when just these tables, right?
Yeah.
Just put cell colors, just change the cell colors of all these
Oh
tables.
yeah.
Oh
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so like you mentioned SEO Notebook. I mean, were there any other people that you actually like learned from or followed back then or even now?
I mean, I've gone through a bunch of folks that I followed. I feel like the one who had a huge impact on me from a content perspective early on was like Brian Dean. I
Okay.
think a lot of people would have said that back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then resources like all of the articles that Mazda was putting out. I mean, I basically
Oh yeah.
worked in a bike shop that I was responsible for driving bike rental reservations. And
Mm-hmm.
we had 1,000 bikes in the fleet, which meant that, and we had 10 weeks to make a living. So we had to reserve out
Oh,
those 1,000 bikes as much as possible. And so
mm-hmm.
I spent all winter, each winter, like learning how to do it better, learning how to do A/B tests on our checkout process and all that stuff to increase rental reservations. And so I read a ton of Moz back then. I used to like love the Whiteboard Fridays that Rand was
Yep.
doing back in 2008, 9, 10, and 11,
Mm-hmm.
12, 13, 14. I mean,
Yeah. It's
it was just like ad nauseum. Yeah, those were some of my biggest earlier influencers. And then later on, like there are a lot of people that have influenced me a ton. Dana Di Tommaso, anything having to do with like analytics.
mm-hmm.
Local folk, Joy Hawkins, of course, Colin Nielsen. Um, there's just been so many. I mean, and I'm pals with like everybody, so it's like picking anybody out is super
Yeah.
hard.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so take us through your journey when it comes to SEO. So, I mean, like, tell us like from some of the companies that you worked at, and now that led you now
Yeah,
here as director of innovation, and also
sure,
starting
sure.
the time you thought
Yeah,
about starting the SEO community.
yeah. So like 2015 was the first time that I got to work on SEO really full time. I was working at
Okay.
this bike e-commerce platform called Smart E-tailing.
Okay.
I worked there for a year and a half, then founded my own agency called Bike Shop SEO. And then I did that for 3 years and then merged that with a company called Two Octobers, which is a great SEO agency in Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And worked there for a little over 2 years and then moved over to Sterling Sky. And
Got it.
then in terms of founding the SEO community, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you wanted me to move towards that. Um, the real thing was like the death of Twitter. Like it just felt like all the SEO community left when Elon bought
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, and then at least my friends were all leaving, and I just was feeling like I wanted to hang out with all my pals,
Mm-hmm.
and I signed up for Mastodon, and I signed up for Blue Sky back then, and I signed up for I don't remember a couple others, and I just couldn't find all my friends, and it just felt like we all use Slack, and so why not just start something on Slack? And I'd had experience doing that. Like I had another community called Agency Automators that was all about bringing automation into digital agency life,
Mm-hmm.
and had about 1,100 people in that one,
Mm-hmm.
and it grew quickly and it was sustained, but I felt like it was entirely dependent on all the effort that I put into it, and I just got tired of it over time. Um, and so I had a lot of like historical knowledge of like how to do a community, and it's grown really fast. Like in 2 years, it has picked up 4,000 plus folks.
Love that. Love that. And we'll get to talking more about the community later later on in the conversation. But for part one of this
Yeah.
conversation, let's talk about using your network to find jobs. I mean, let's jump into networking. For someone job hunting for the SEO right now, where should they start?
I think it starts with your network.
Mm-hmm.
It does not start on LinkedIn job applications. It doesn't start on Indeed. It really has to start with the people that you know. And like one thing that I did, and I think times are different because I was able to make a move like almost at the when hiring was still really happening. But
Yeah.
I have to acknowledge that up front. But I also know that the steps that I took, I think, were what helped me make it easy when I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was time to move on. So the first thing is like you have to develop the skills that make you unique. Like
Okay.
that's
Yep.
you might think that that's that, but it's crazy important. Whatever it is, you should aspire to be the best at whatever that thing is. Like I wanted to be a part of a skunkworks team. I wanted to build proof of concept stuff that could be
Mm-hmm.
turned into products or different tools that we could use to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been my calling card. I mean, I've seen jobs that were built that had that exact job description, almost like it was written for me,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So I developed like a lot of skills. And then
Okay.
on the networking side, what I think was really important was during the pandemic, I had Zoom calls with like 500 different SEOs.
Mm-hmm.
And I always led those calls with, how can I help you? And I'd know about that person going in, and I'd know like what was important to them or what they talked about at conferences or what they wrote articles on. And I'd try and find ways to help them be heroes at whatever they were already doing. So I'd put them first, right?
Okay.
And I'd follow up and I'd always try and help them. So I built up this like massive goodwill karma bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like I was being crazy strategic, like, hey, I'm going to build up a big bank of karma. It was
Yeah.
like I want to meet people and I want to do the right thing and I want to help folks.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I realized that it was time for me to like find my next role from Sterling Sky,
Mhm.
I thought about who were the three best agencies that I wanted to work for, or the three best organizations
Mhm.
that aligned with my skill sets. And for me, it was like e-commerce background with bike stuff, local SEO background with bike shop SEO / all the stuff that I built tooling around.
Mhm.
And also I wanted to learn about programmatic and AI.
Yep.
And so I thought about Wayfair for e-commerce, local SEO. It was like a no-brainer for me with Sterling Sky,
Mhm.
and I had a great relationship with Joy already.
Mhm.
And then also Angie.com for the programmatic side.
Yeah.
And I reached out to the leaders of all three orgs and I said, hey, I'm thinking about moving on and I'm interested in a discussion.
Mhm.
And you know, like with Joy, I didn't know this, but she has this thing she jokingly calls the list, that if
The
you're
list?
on the list, yeah, if you're on the list and you're available, she'll like try and get you.
Oh.
So I didn't know I was on the list, but I'm on the I was on the list apparently. And then so then yeah, we had a job discussion and it was like a pretty close to an instant like hiring offer, you know, same day kind of thing. But it sounds like, hey, that doesn't match up with the reality of everybody else's job search.
Yeah.
But I think it's also because all of those hundreds of hours that I put into building a network
Mhm.
and consistently helping people over time put me in a position that when I needed help, people were really stoked to help me. And if
Got
I'd
it.
widened that circle from 3 to 10 agencies, I could have had meaningful discussions with 6 or 7 of them. So
Yep.
I think that's the thing, is put your energy into other people all the time.
Excellent!
Oh, dude, love it.
Love it. All right. So when you so like for the other two companies, you actually probably knew some people in there as well then. So these were companies within your network already. So you already kind of like, okay, you already knew which ones to go to since they were in your network. You had kind of like had an easier warm up introduction.
Yeah. And exactly. And and you start with where you are and you build outward from there. So it's like, hey, I don't know anybody. Well, then I know my boss,
Mhm.
and then maybe there's a local SEO meetup in my city or town.
Mhm.
And if there isn't, start one. Like that's how you build your network, because then all the people in your local area are going to want to come hang out and be a part of something. And you found this to be the case too. Like when you have a podcast, all of a sudden, massive quantities of opportunities flow your way.
Yeah, no, definitely.
From places that you would have no idea or no relationship with them.
No, exactly.
So,
exactly.
yeah. So like, start with where you are, go to your local SEO meetup, maybe try and speak there. And you want to speak there because you basically are always trying to increase what I call other people call it this too, but it's like your surface area. You want to build the surface area of people who know you, like you, and trust you to be able to execute at specific tasks, whether it's a job or a project or whatever. And so getting to know more and more people, and the scale of how people know you can change based on how you communicate with people, whether it's a one-on-one Zoom or whether it's doing a local SEO meetup, talking in front of whatever, 10 to 50 people, or whether you're speaking on a bigger stage, or you have a podcast, or you're writing an article, or you're doing videos on LinkedIn. Like whatever you're doing, you're building an audience and building that surface area of people who know, like, and trust you. And then once you develop that, then opportunities, instead of you trying to go get things, things will come to you, which is just different.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so when you do, so are there some other ways, maybe creative ways that you've seen, maybe even the community that people are using to network with other people? I mean, so how about for like even someone that's pretty shy, like that's really, really, that it's hard for them.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And the things that I talk about, I know I'm coming from like an extroverty kind of background, but I also know what it was like for me to get there. And I put in a ton of time. Like when I worked in a bike shop, where I would talk to 500 to 1,000 people a day, every day. And I'd try and rent bikes to that many people. And people walk in the store and they're like, you have to be able to read them within 2 seconds. Okay, this person is a WASP from Boston. Oh, where in Beacon Hill you from? Where are you coming from today? Where in North Carolina you live? Like that ability to communicate with people was a skill that took me decades to get good at. And I was really bad at it for a long time. And because I was exposed to so many people, I could learn quickly in terms of like, ooh, don't ever say that again, And so like for people who are more introverted, I think I'd start by building an audience online via the written word first, and then find a way to get on a podcast. And I think if you write something that's meaningful enough, those opportunities are going to come your way. And when you go on that podcast, getting over the anxiety is hard, but there are tons of steps to doing it. Like number one, learn how to do box breathing. And I've given folks like speaking advice about this a ton. And basically what you do is you take a deep breath in, you hold it for 4 to 6 seconds, and then you exhale for 6 to 8 seconds. And then you do the whole thing over and over and over again. And within 3 or 4 cycles of that, you're going to feel the anxiety like draining from your body. And everything else after that is going to be like fun. And so that helps you like bridge that gap from like, oh my God, I'm so afraid of doing X, to looking forward to doing that thing, whether it's speaking on a stage or having a Zoom call with somebody or whatever. And you'll also recognize that most of these conversations that you have with other people, whatever that setting is, people want to talk to you. There's a reason you're in that room.
Yep.
There's a reason you got invited to the podcast. There's a reason you got invited onto the stage, and that people want to enjoy what you have to say and they value what you have to say. And once you get that through your head, it's a total like mind shift from, oh my God. Like I read all your questions today, and the one that I was afraid of the most was the first one. Was how do you get on page 1 of Google? And I was thinking about that for like an hour, and I could have like gone down like a crazy wormhole of anxiety.
Yeah.
But it was like, yeah, we'll get through this. So
All right, love that. Okay, so let's kind of like let's flip the script here. So, however, what are some mistakes you see people doing when trying to network, for job opportunities? Like, what's what shouldn't what you've seen done, maybe what you've done, or what's the wrong way to do it?
I think the wrong way is to sorry about that. The wrong way is to like ignore your network until you need them. That is the recipe, I think, for not getting a lot of headway. And I see it all the time on socials. I'll see someone say things like, I know I've been quiet for a long time, but I'm ready to engage again. And it's almost always right at the exact same time that they'll either announce in the next paragraph, oh, and also I'm looking for a role that does blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, okay, great, sweet. So you're just being transactional. Okay, cool.
Got it. Love you. Oh man, I totally get that. So I mean, like for
Also, not breaking through like to the role that you want to get. Like I just see a lot of people saying things like, "Hey, I'm getting filtered out because of X, Y, or Z," and it's like there's no personal relationship in place yet to help you break through whatever AI filter is in place. That's like scanning through cover letters or scanning through anything or other.
Got it. Yeah, that's definitely true right there. But so what are some other ways that we can actually break through these things? Like, what are some ways to add value to ourselves, or to like, whether it is when we need to, get through a job. Yeah.
So I would think about like, I think about the organizations that do the best work and where I'd want to be. And then I would find the people who are doing the best work for the type of work that I want to do. And I would follow both of those things on socials. And then I would like posts, and then I would comment on posts. And over time, like that person, if they become interested in what you have to say, they're going to respond. Might be the first time, might be other times, whatever. And then eventually you'll be, and it could be 2, 3, 4 posts later. It might be the kind of thing where they'll say something, you comment, they respond, and it feels like there's like a warmth there. Then you might follow it up with a direct message. And the direct message goes something like this. Hey, I saw you talking about blah, whatever the thing is. I'm also doing a lot of work around blah. I'd love to hop on a Zoom to chat about it. Thoughts? Question mark. That's it. 2, 3 sentences. That's how I got in the room with 500 people over the pandemic. And my goal was to get to know people. And also at the time I was trying to sell this product we'd built called Branch Explorer. And, I was doing requests for feedback because I wanted to talk to the smartest people I knew to get feedback on the product. And they would all be willing to sit through a chitty chat. And so anyway, you get in a room and you're talking with folks and you lead with help. Hey, how can I help you? And as you're chatting with them and building rapport, pay attention for one thing in particular, and I call it the head tilt, where you're talking. When you're saying something really interesting, the other person starts to, and you start to pay attention for that. And it's like, am I impacting this person?
Okay.
Is what I'm saying landing, And I think what you're going to find, if you're smart and you're eager and you're authentic and you're helpful, that people will want to be around you more because you make them feel good, And the more you can kind of build that type of relationship, then you can sort of say, you can do it on that same call or you can do it later. Like, hey, just for clarity, like, because they're going to also say in response, how can I help you? Because it's like the law of reciprocity, right? And so you'll just say like, hey, so one thing that I'm working on right now, I'm actually thinking about making a change. And the type of organization that I want to be a part of is blah, blah, blah. And I have a pretty, and you have to be like really in touch with what motivates you as a person and where you'll be happy and the type of work that'll bring out all your strengths. Like for me, it's building tools behind the scenes that help us compete in ways that other people can't. Like I want to be part of the best team that's doing the best work, period.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah.
So like it's really simple. It's like I want to do great work and I want to be part of something special.
Love
And so when I talked to Joy, I was like, that's what I said to her.
Mhm.
And it was pretty funny because another guy in the team who's like basically he's our VP, and this is for you, Dave. You're VP number 1. You got to clip that later. That'll make him go crazy. So Dave was in the meeting, and I think Dave was sitting in the room, and he said something like, "Yeah, so I think my only question is this guy for real?" Like he had to establish whether or not, like, I've heard all these things about you, right? So like
Yeah.
I'd broken through. I've
Mhm.
heard all
Yep,
these things
yep.
about you, and what I really need to know is, are you for real? Like, should we put faith in you? Should we hire you? So like that's why building a surface area is so important, because people will feel like they know you already
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they even meet you. Like you felt that way, where people will walk up to you and be like, dude,
Yeah.
I saw that show you did and blah, 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 blah. And they already feel like, you're a friend, even though you haven't
Yeah, no,
officially met them yet.
I was actually first time meeting you in person at
Yeah.
at your event, but it's like, hey, we're like buddies already. Like it was one of those things.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Okay, if any guys, the audience out there, if you have any questions around this on networking, go ahead and please ask them. But I'm gonna go right into our part 2 of our conversation here. We're just getting the most out of your career. I mean, for you, no, you've like wore many hats in your SEO journey, right? So, I mean, what mind shifts help you grow the most throughout your career?
Ooh, mind shifts. So I've always asked myself questions. I check in all the time. And one of the questions that helped me through each kind of phase or change was, what skills can I learn that'll be relevant for the next 3 to 5 years?
Okay.
And how can I make myself impossible to ignore?
Yep.
Now, other people have said things like, how do I make myself impossible to replace? And you could ask that question too, but that's problematic because you don't want to be stuck. I guess you wouldn't want to be stuck in a place where you could never be replaced.
Yeah.
But like the impossible to ignore thing, I'd always thought of it like, hey, if I'm in an org and there are layoffs, I don't want to be one of those folks, right? Like I want to be the one that they keep because he's valuable and he can do stuff. So I've always kind of focused on that. And I also have listened very carefully and paid attention closely to like my life experiences and like what goes right and what goes wrong, and situations and environments where I thrive, and situations and environments that cause anxiety, stress, and just like not succeeding the way I'd like. And in general, what that looked like in practice was like, hey, I enjoy doing things that involve problem solving.
Okay.
I enjoy the new. I enjoy difficult challenges. I enjoy synthesizing information and solving difficult problems. That is my Zen space. Like if I'm doing something that's really, really hard, that involves incorporating information and data from a lot of different sources, like that's my sweet spot. And like if I can do that all day and get paid to do that all day, then I'm a happy camper. And so like as my roles have changed over time, like I've paid attention where I failed. Like that smart detailing job, I had to work on up to 67 different bike shop websites every month. And I got to spend 1 to 3 hours on each client site, including looking at Search Console, including looking at Google Analytics, and including a small email that's a reporting email. And you can imagine that time management would be super critical in that type of environment. I flailed at that because I'd incorporate like, hey, this client isn't performing. Why aren't they performing?
Mhm.
Well, this requires a deep dive into the data. Well, guess what? I don't have the time to do that. So like that role I didn't excel at because I had a hard time with time management.
Mm.
2 Octobers and then Bike Shop SEO, I owned that company and I was like the lead strategist and all that stuff. And I came to realize that I didn't really like owning. I didn't really enjoy owning a business. I didn't
Mm.
really enjoy all the operational stuff. I didn't enjoy all the details. I enjoyed the big picture and the vision piece of it.
Mhm.
And so I realized then I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to own stuff. I'd rather like have a good job working for someone else where I don't have to think about that, where I just get to work on problems and innovation.
Mhm.
That took me to 2 Octobers. And at 2 Octobers, I was building stuff for us internally, but also trying to build products that we could take to market. And that was super stressful. And it was super, super stressful for me on a personal level and caused a huge amount of anxiety when we were trying to bring products to market. And so when I looked for my next thing, I wanted to do the same type of work, but I didn't want to bring stuff to market. And the first conversation with Joy was, she said to me within the first 5 minutes, we are not going to sell any products.
Mm.
And I was like, yes. I was so excited because again, it was aligning with what I wanted, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And as you go along in your career, it's like, do more of the things you're amazing at and get all the stuff that you suck at out of your remit.
Mhm.
And therefore you can drive more and more value for the organization. And so you have to like be good at showing that value and communicating it, both in a written way and in a spoken way, so that they value your efforts and give you more freedom to work on the things that you're great at.
Love that.
Sorry.
Love that. This comes up to my next question, where it's like, if someone feels a little stuck in their own current like SEO role, what are some 3 things they can do, like practical things they can do to level up themselves?
They're not going to like the answer because the 3 things turns into a lot of hours. But it's like the way I've always approached it is I have invested between 400 and whatever 1,500 hours a year in self-improvement.
Yep. Yeah.
And I saw this article this morning where what's his name from Shark Tank, who also used to own the Mavericks?
Cuban. Mark
Yeah,
Cuban.
Mark Cuban. His one habit for success is self-improvement. And it's just like figuring, like if you're stuck in a role, it's because I think you/your supervisors and managers think that you're only good for fill in the blank, right? And that you're not ready for that next challenge. And so if you're stuck, look at where you are and like look a year in advance, 2 years in advance, 3 years in advance. What are the things that I do that make me happy? When I get out of bed and I'm thinking about work, what are the things about work that are always on my mind? Who are the writers that I'm always following? What are the parts of the job that I do that I really excel at? And asking yourself that is going to sort of chart a path to whatever's next. And then, okay, so what are the skills that I need to learn to be able to be good at that? Probably those skills involve something that's more technical or better, becoming a better thinker, a better communicator.
Yep.
Right? Those pretty core things. So get better at those. For me, learning how to think clearly involved reading, 25 books on the matter between 2023 and 2025. I'd go on these big fishing trips and I'd spend 6 hours in the car going fishing. And so I'd listen to a big chunk of an audiobook in one direction and then finish it on the way back. And I would do that rinse and repeat fashion over a period of years. And a great book to get started on is written by a guy named Shane Parrish. He's the founder of a blog called fs.blog, which stands for Farnham Street. And he wrote this book called, I think it's called Clear Thinking. And it'll teach you how to become a better thinker. And you'll look at problems differently and more efficiently so that you can come to solutions faster. So that's on the thinking side. On the communication side, I think a lot of it breaks down to learning how to speak. And people who think of
Yeah.
themselves as an introvert are sweating when they hear that. But once you do it once and you do it successfully and you do it anxiety free, you look forward to doing it over and over and over again. And each time you do it, like more and more opportunities will flow your way. And and the skills that you learn there will translate directly into being a better communicator to stakeholders, internal and external.
Love that. Love it. Yeah, I experienced almost exact same a journey where like I was 1 year I read like 300 books, and since that year I pivoted like my whole like growth mindset. My ego got left behind, and then I started more practice on communication. I joined Toastmasters, which is what actually helped me start the show. I mean, I would have been able to start the show if I didn't go through Toastmasters, just so I can work on speaking more.
Wow.
And yeah, so that was one of the things that I did, and which is one of the things. But you are known to be a systems thinker, right? So like, and you kind of mentioned this earlier. You mentioned habits. So like, what are some habits that you actually develop that actually help you kind of grow within your journey and career?
So habit one is like self-improvement, right?
Okay.
But also, and that's huge. And that is also being really, really, really gritty.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is when you're learning how to do anything new, you're going to fall and you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And expecting that you're going to fail 90% of the time and you're going to succeed maybe 10% of the time is a really great mental framework for learning new things and being patient and being patient with yourself, because there's so much to struggle through. Systems thinker, that comes from a book called Thinking in Systems by Donella Meadows.
Mm-hmm.
And basically you look at the world and you try and understand why everything is the way that it is. Well, there are the systems that are designed and the structure that's designed that determines all those outcomes. Mm-hmm. So basically a system manages inputs and turns them into outputs. Like if we want less people to talk on their cell phones, we make it super expensive and illegal and highly enforced. And then hopefully less people will talk on their cell phones, right?
Yeah.
And that's not the goal. The goal is to have less people die in traffic accidents, right? So like that's the output that we're really looking for. So like that's an example of systems thinking. Yeah. And when you build software in general, you have to understand, and this is kind of like when I'm building all my data stuff, it's like I have to understand what questions are we trying to answer? Where can we get the information that might be useful to answer that question? I have to technically go get it, building the software to go get it via APIs and stuff. I then transform it to put it in a structure that'll help me answer the question, and then store it up in Google BigQuery, and then visualize it with a tool like Google Looker Studio, and have it tell a story that is either answering a question one way or another. So having to think through that whole system and planning for it, and when you know that every link in that chain can break, turns you into a systems thinker. Because you have to like, hey, I want to be able to do this thing, but what are all the things that have to happen first for me to get there?
Yep, makes a lot of sense. Okay, guys, again, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the live chat. I see a few people that said came by. Peyton came by. It says, happy Friday, everyone. And Nitin asked if we heard of Search Atlas. I mean, I've of course heard of Search Atlas. Great tool. I'm actually a customer there. Do you use Search Atlas? Do you have any customers or clients that use Search Atlas?
No, but is that a plug?
I don't know. That was
shameless plug.
All right, guys.
Hey, have you heard of my tool?
All right, guys. So I want to go into our last part of our conversation today, which is something where Noah was able to build from 0 to 4,000 within. It was only a couple of years. You said it was like a couple of years.
2 years.
Yeah. 2 years. Which is the SEO community, and but you can go to there now at the SEOcommunity.com, right? The SEOcommunity.com. Yeah. Go there right now, sign up, and you what are the requirements I mean, like, do you reject anyone, or is there like anyone?
We do reject people that we think aren't going to be a good fit. And that sounds really lame, but basically, we're looking for folks who are into SEO one way or another. Like, hey, I practice it all the time, or I'm interested in learning more.
Mhm.
We ask people to authenticate via LinkedIn
Yeah.
as part of that application process. And basically, we're just trying to make sure that the people who come into the community are going to like add value. And the people who would, in an example of someone who wouldn't be adding value, is
Mhm.
like jumping in and selling backlink exchanges,
Got it.
guest
Yeah.
post
There
opportunities.
you go.
Like that's it. That's all we're
As long
trying
as
to
you do
stop,
that.
right?
All right. All right.
And people who aren't abusive, like there's just no BS in the community. Like everybody's kind, everybody's
Yep.
nice, it's collaborative. If I ask a question, the thing that's rad about it is because there's such a network effect, there's so many people in there, you'll
Mhm.
say like, hey, I don't understand why I can't get this set of pages indexed in my sitemap, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
You'll have like 15 replies. Like
Mhm.
it's not like one or two people who are jumping in. It's like a huge community of people who all know what they're doing, who are there to help.
Love that. Okay, so we all know why you started the SEO community. So let's go into like the earlier challenges of the building the community from scratch. I mean, like how'd you overcome them, and like how when was the actual growth spurt? Like maybe you were getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all of a sudden you got like 100 or something like that. Like was there that point that something like that happened?
You mean hockey stick?
Yeah.
Hockey stick growth? Um, it felt really, really fast for a long time.
Okay.
I
So it
mean,
was.
we were picking up 100 to 150. At first, it was like 600 members in the
Mhm.
first month,
Mhm.
and then it was probably 150 to 200 members a month for a
Mhm.
long, long time. And then it slowed down a little bit recently, but it's like what's wild is there are certain people that when they talk about the community in certain places, it'll
Mhm.
make the community get 85 or 100 people signing up
Mm.
in a couple days, which is pretty wild. But I think what you really want to know is how do we build a community?
Mm.
And here are some of the lessons that I think are really important. The first one is build a code of conduct on day one,
Okay.
period. That's wicked important. People need to know why they're there, why it matters, why it's different, why it's
Mhm.
special, and they need to know how to behave. And we did that right away. First day, blammo. Here's
Mhm.
code of conduct. And I did it because I just wanted to make sure that everybody, like, I felt like I was creating something, a new home for all
Mhm.
of us to hang out in. And I wanted to know people how to behave in their home,
Mhm.
you know? So, number one, code of conduct. Number two, I got people to help me right away. Because of my experience with agency automators, I knew that once I flamed out and got tired, that it was going to all fall apart.
Mhm.
And so I asked for help moderating right away. And we
Mm.
have a
Yeah.
team of about 20 moderators now, which is pretty wild. And then I found key people who wanted to like spend a lot of time and effort outside of moderating.
Mhm.
And I've just tried to incorporate them into the community as much as I can. And the goal there really is to just um, help people get exposure for themselves at the same time that they're helping the community get exposure. And, we have one woman named Evan and Booze, I believe, and she helps us with promotions, and she's amazing. Adrian Kmetz or Metz helps us with our actual blog
Mhm.
and edits the website. And there are several people who've done several things, like the parties, for example. I collaborate super closely with Cheryl Draper, who
Mhm.
ran MozCon for a bunch of years.
Oh.
Also work with Nick
Yeah.
Leroy,
Leroy.
the
Yeah.
King,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And also Sean Huber. And the four of us have put on a bunch of parties together. And
Mm.
so it's like the role of the person of the founder, I think the delicate balance is figuring out how much of the community, how much do you need to be the face of the community? And navigating that piece is hard.
Yeah.
Like, like how many podcasts am I going to do? How many newsletters am I going to write? And figuring out like where you can provide the most value is one part of the delicate balance.
Mhm.
And then the other part of it is, how do I create the conditions for this thing to thrive,
Yeah.
where I'm not doing all the work, but I'm definitely paying attention the whole time and guiding it when I see things get off track, and I can talk to individual people involved in the team to help us get back on track towards
Mhm.
what we all want.
Mhm.
And when stuff happens in the community where the community goes off track, generally, I will jump in and I will remind people like, hey, this is not what this community is about.
Mhm.
We are not about tearing down other people. We are not here to sell back, like when
Yeah.
things go really wrong.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple of those over time. So
Mhm.
is that helpful?
Yes, very, very, very helpful. Thank you there. And so one of the things is like, how do you keep the engagement going? Like, or how do you, I mean, because I know you said you got tired. I mean, were you going in there responding to everyone? I mean,
No.
so like,
No.
yeah, I mean, like, I mean, how did you get the initial engagement going so it started becoming like that whole network effect?
Um,
Like, were you doing contests or anything
well,
like that? Or like, yeah, what were you, how were you getting people to talk?
good question. So early on, it was a lot of the people that I knew from inside SEO. So they're all my pals
Okay.
early on. And so I think we all wanted to just have a place, and there was just like free flowing open dialogue, and people I think were like just so freaking stoked to have community back in
Mhm.
any way, shape, or form. And it's not the only SEO community. There are a whole bunch of them.
Mhm.
Like women in tech SEO
Yeah.
were my North Star for like how to build something. And so like it was pretty free flowing. And then we've talked about all different kinds of ways to get the community to grow and engage. And what's difficult is teasing out what is normal and what can we expect
Mhm.
versus what's happening and whatever. And so like looking at subscriber growth is one thing,
Mhm.
but like looking at monthly and daily active users, I think is more important.
Yeah.
And Slack makes that visibility really tough in a free community.
Mhm.
So like it's kind of frustrating. But so you're like looking at how active are we
Mhm.
generally, and then doing things to try and grow that. And the types of things that we've experimented with are ask me anythings.
Mhm.
And we've had varying levels of success with that, where like one time we might have 20 people asking questions for an hour. Sometimes we might have 6 people asking questions for an hour.
Mhm.
We do office hours every Friday morning.
Mhm.
I do a campfire chat in alternate weeks of the Ask Me Anythings. And the campfire chat is usually like an hour. I'm spending an hour with somebody
Mhm.
and we're talking about something.
Right.
Generally there are organic conversations. And all those things that we promote on socials, and we also do an email newsletter. All those things are designed to drive people back to the community, and have worked with varying levels of success. Like I don't think I've figured out the magic thing, because if I
Mhm.
did, we'd be growing
Mhm.
like crazy.
Mhm.
And I think another question is like the whole monetization thing. I
Oh
don't know what
yeah.
you're thinking about. I mean, like that piece is crazy important. Like you think about Traffic Think Tank
Yeah.
or Keyword Insights, for
Mhm.
example.
Mhm.
Um, the Traffic Think Tank one, when they launched, I think they had 2 levels. One was $20 a month. I don't remember what you got for $20 a month. Maybe you got access to course content or something like that.
Mhm.
And then for 120, you could take part in the Slack community.
Mhm.
And doing that, they got something like 700 different or 750 subscribers paying that 120 a month.
Mhm.
You do the math, and very
Yep.
quickly you're like, whoa, 70 grand a month in revenue. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And you multiply that by 12, and you're like, whoa, we're at
Yeah.
$850,000 worth of revenue per year.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking like any other acquisition thing where someone wants to buy a community or something, and you go 2 to 3x of that, and
Yeah.
you're like, whoa, we could sell this for 1.7.
Yeah. No.
So that's what they did.
Mhm.
I wanted to do it differently. Like I wanted to have money coming in so that I didn't feel like I was just spending huge amounts of time on it. And my wife getting angry because I'm like spending too much time on it.
Yeah.
And I also wanted it to be free for people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured that I could get community partners and companies to help sponsor. And that's definitely been the case. And also those events are also really, really important. And I would kind of feel, I would think that if you're building something, that kind of surround sound thing where you're doing all kinds of stuff to help grow the community and you incorporate in-person events, I think the thing that people really, really love is being together in real life and just physically being together. And so if you can have that component where you're trying to get people together in real life with some cadence once a year, twice a year, whatever, I think that's really important. And we're doing that this year. We have 3 different we're calling it the Community Roadshow. We're doing one event in Chicago in July 17th. And then we're doing another event at Brighton SEO. And then we're doing another event at the same time as Tech SEO Connect down in North Carolina in December.
Love it, guys. We are at time here. So if you guys have any last minute questions that you want to fit in, go ahead and ask them. But I'm going to ask my last question that I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here. If someone wants to get into the SEO industry just now and become an SEO professional themselves, what's your one piece of advice for them?
Don't. No, I'm just kidding. No, man, I would try and find the best organization I could to get in with early, and it would probably be an SEO agency because they're exposed to all kinds of different verticals.
Yep. Love that. And for this episode to feel complete for you, any last comments, shout outs, any words that you want to say to the audience out there?
I think just that message of helping as many people as you can is going to make your career grow way faster than you could possibly imagine. That is the biggest thing that's driven my career. And I know that I make 4 times as much money as I used to based on that strategy.
Love it. And how can people get a hold of you?
Let's see. Noah at sterlingsky.ca. It would be my email. And then Noah Lerner on LinkedIn. And Lerner is Learner. And I'd love to help. If you reach out to me, I promise I will respond.
Awesome. Everyone's gonna let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much. Woo! All right, no, can you hold on for 1 second? Hold on for 1 second. I sign off here. Hold on. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And then, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, hey, if you guys are free next week in the Bay Area, I do have an event coming up. It's a tech event, We Are Tech event. Go to weare.online for this event. And every Wednesday, don't forget to check out the GBP Roast Show at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So next time, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, cause the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre de Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.